Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeannie Shen, and I'm the president of the Taiwanese American Professionals DC chapter. Um, the acronym is TAPDC. So TAPDC is a 501c3 that works to fostering a sense of community among the Taiwanese American professionals in the DMV metro area. TAPDC is a part of a broader network under the Taiwanese American Citizens Leagues, which we call TACL, which seeks to connect, empower, and inspire Taiwanese Americans across the United States. TAPDC's mission is to provide a platform for networking, professional development, and cultural exchange. We host a wide range of events, including career workshops, social gatherings, and community service projects. All of these events and activities aim to help members advance their careers, build meaningful relationships, and promote Taiwanese culture and heritage. One of our key goals is to support the professional development of its members through mentorship programs, industry panels, and leadership development opportunities, which is why we are so excited to be partnering with the English for Heritage Language Speakers program, which works to provide professional English language training to individuals with critical language skills. This collaboration will enhance our efforts to support the professional and personal growth of our members, further enriching the Taiwanese American community in the DC area. By connecting Taiwanese American professionals, TAPDC not only strengthens the local community, but also contributes to a more diverse and inclusive society. The chapter is open to individuals from all backgrounds who are interested in Taiwanese culture and community engagement. And so, with that said, I'm happy to introduce Mathilda, who will be talking about the career skills advancement for federal job seekers.
Thank you, Jeannie, and thank you for joining us for this presentation. I'll give a quick overview of the English for Heritage Language Speakers program, what the program offers and its requirements. We'll talk about the application process and some tips to keep in mind as you apply. And we're going to take a look at different examples of government careers that our alumni have pursued. And we'll discuss how to conduct your own job search and enhance your own career opportunities. Throughout the presentation, feel free to use the Q&A box and type any questions you may have. All right, let me do an overview of the EHLS program before we dive in deeper. So EHLS is a scholarship program with a focus on professional English skills and career skills. We trained advanced speakers of English to be effective communicators and strong candidates for federal jobs. The program is hosted by Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. Every scholar admitted to the program receives a full scholarship funded by the federal government. The program is 8 months in length. The first 6 months are full-time on the Georgetown University downtown campus, and the final 2 months are part-time, conducted online. Participants are native speakers of critical languages who have a strong interest in public service. EHLS scholars come from diverse cultural, educational, and professional backgrounds, but they are united by a commitment to and an interest in public service. So now let me show a little bit about the program background. So EHLS was established because critical language skills are in high demand in the US government. There are other government-sponsored programs to teach critical languages to native speakers of English, but this is the only program designed to prepare individuals with native knowledge of critical languages for the federal workplace. EHLS is a partnership among 4 organizations. So there's the Defense Language National Security Education Office, or DELENCIO, that provides funding. The Center for Applied Linguistics, where I work, oversees instruction and coordinates language testing. Georgetown University provides instruction, and the Institute of International Education oversees the application process. EHLS started in 2006, and 2025 will be our 20th program year, which is definitely a milestone. Scholarships are awarded through the Defense Language National Security Education Office. Each scholarship provides full tuition and fees for the 8-month academic program, in addition to a living stipend. So that's $3,600 a month during the first 6 months of the program, and then $1,200 a month during the last 2 months of the program. For scholars who are moving from outside the Washington, D.C. area, EHLS can reimburse relocation costs up to $1,000. Other benefits include a certificate from Georgetown University, health insurance also, and a certificate from Georgetown University. So upon successful completion of the program, you have a beautiful professional portfolio that includes a well-polished resume, writing samples, U.S. government scale English and heritage test scores, and the certificate from Georgetown University that opens many doors. Scholars must agree to the terms that we have outlined here. So that's full-time attendance and successful completion of the academic program, agreement not to work during the full-time portion of the academic program, and acceptance of a service requirement after completing the academic program. And now let's look at the eligibility requirements. So you must be a U.S. citizen at the time of application. You must be a native speaker of one of the languages listed here, and you must have professional level proficiency in that language. You must have advanced proficiency in English, and your proficiency in both English and your native language will be formally tested. And we will discuss a little bit about testing later in the presentation. You must have a college degree that's at least a bachelor's degree. You must be able to use the internet, word processing programs, and PowerPoint. And you must commit to a full-time day program from January through June in Washington, D.C. at Georgetown University. And you must be willing to work for the federal government for 1 year in a position with national security responsibilities. It will be your responsibility to find that position. So our scholars are required to fulfill this 1-year commitment to work in the federal government, but we're really interested in people who want to make a career of federal work. So it is the scholar's responsibility to search for and secure a position with the government, but you will get a lot of support from your instructor in the career skills development class, but ultimately it is your job search. The job search is the focus after completing the intensive portion of the program, so after the first 6 months. EHLS scholars are required to begin their job search within these 4 departments, and any civilian or foreign service positions within these departments can count towards your requirement. These positions don't need to be language-enabled positions, so you don't need to be using your language in the job necessarily. And scholars have worked in very diverse fields, including cyber, finance, acquisitions, in addition to foreign affairs. Here are a few examples of where EHLS scholars have worked. So you can see it's really diverse positions ranging from language instructor to doing more programmatic management or intelligence work. The policy analyst job that's on the slide was also an exclusive job. I'll talk a little bit more about that, but this was basically a job that our scholar was able to apply to in kind of an exclusive competitive process that only our alumni and alumni of NCEP programs are have access to. So if a scholar does not find a suitable position in one of the priority areas, they can petition to fulfill their service requirement in any position within the federal government that contributes to national security. So NCEP, I mentioned NCEP, which is the same name as our funder. NCEP is National Security Education Program, and Delencio, so they're the same entity in the federal government. They have a very broad understanding of national security, including issues of population, migration, public health, diplomacy, and economic competitiveness. So for example, we have a scholar who's fulfilling their service requirement at the Department of Commerce currently. So I mentioned that there is extensive career training during the program. So there's different aspects of different career skills that are covered in the career skills class, including using online tools for the job search, evaluating positions, researching agencies, preparing targeted documents, and honing interview skills. this career skills class in our program, for that class, every Friday is reserved for HR representatives from different federal agencies to come and meet our scholars and present the opportunities that are available in their agencies. And so many times those representatives will give out their cards and email to our scholars. They might even accept resumes or offer to track an application. And like I said before, as a scholar, you also get exclusive job openings through this portal called NCEP.net. That's after you've completed the intensive portion of the program. And so many of our scholars have gotten great jobs through these exclusive job postings. Our scholars also have what's a special hiring advantage called Schedule A. So you can Google that, Schedule A. It's a hiring advantage, which means that an agency can hire you faster without going through all the normal requirements if there's an urgent need for your expertise. So having Schedule A makes you very attractive as a candidate to apply for different job positions. If the position that you apply to requires a security clearance, Schedule A doesn't speed up that process, but it speeds up other aspects of applying to a position. Another aspect of the program is the OSAP, Open Source Analysis Project, and that's our capstone project. So this is your chance as an EHLS scholar to shine and show off your knowledge and skills. In this part of the program, you work with a mentor from one of the agencies that is a partner of our program, and you work on a topic that is provided by them specifically for you, and which relates heavily to your native language and your area of the world. So maybe your mentor is an expert in that area of the world, but they don't have the native language capacity and the cultural knowledge that you have. And so you would provide that knowledge and you would do research and be an asset to them. You would produce this research in your native language, using your native language and other languages that you know. So we've had past scholars from the Maghreb, for instance, use different languages like French, Arabic, and Tamashek to do their research. The research report itself is written in English, but you would use those languages to access different sources and use them for your research. So many scholars get job offers as a result of their research, and the OSAP also culminates in a symposium and a presentation in front of the intelligence community. And so as a result of that presentation, many of our scholars have gotten also offers. Many of our scholars bring copies of their written report to that symposium, and they give them out to interested members of the audience. It's also a valuable writing sample that you can include in your resume as you apply for other jobs. Okay, I'll do a review of the application process. I saw that there was a question in the Q&A, and feel free to enter more as I'm presenting, and I will cover this in a slide very soon, describing the professional level proficiency and what that means. So now let's see how to apply to the program. So there are 2 stages to the application process. All candidates complete stage 1, while only some candidates will be invited to stage 2. So steps 1 to 3 in stage 1. So step 1, you prepare your application. Step 2, you submit your application and the supporting documents. And step 3, you complete an OPI, an oral proficiency interview in English. Stage 2 and step 4 is an additional round of testing. We call it skills testing. So that's when you take language tests in speaking in your native language, and then in English, writing, listening, and reading. And all those tests are virtual. And after that stage is when you receive notification of your results and status. So here's another way to look at stage 1. You have your application, you have your supporting documents. So that would be your transcript from your latest degree, your references, and then once you've submitted that by the deadline this year, June 18, then you're invited to complete an oral proficiency interview, and you have until July 12 to do that. So like I said, the supporting documents include the resume and the transcript. Foreign degrees must be evaluated. So you will need to contact an accredited evaluation service for this evaluation. And then once you receive your evaluation, then you upload it to the application system. Those evaluations can sometimes take some time. So we recommend starting early. I know the deadline is only a few weeks away this year, but if you're thinking maybe of applying next year, we recommend starting early with getting the process of getting your degree evaluated, your transcript. And then you must select at least one, but we recommend two professional references. So those are people who will write a recommendation letter for you. So you'll enter their contact information in the online application system, and then the portal will contact them directly for them to upload a reference letter for you. We recommend maybe one recommendation could be from your current supervisor, and you might also consider former supervisors or professors. We say please keep it professional, and we suggest not to choose family members or personal friends. So once you finish that stage of the supporting documents in your application, it will be reviewed by IIE, by the Institute of International Education. And once it's been reviewed and we've received at least one recommendation letter, you will receive an email with the instructions on scheduling your oral proficiency interview in English. So this is when you receive the step-by-step instruction and you schedule your OPI in English. These are administered through Language Testing International, and they are a 30 to 45-minute telephone conversation between you and a certified tester. And those OPIs are administered through July 12. But so if you submit your application by June 18, that's kind of a short window to schedule your OPI. So we recommend submitting as soon as possible so you have more time to take that to secure a time to take that OPI at a time that works with your schedule. Our OPIs cannot be rescheduled if they're missed, and applicants must meet a minimum of an ILR 2 to move forward with the program, and I'll talk a little bit more about this minimum requirement in English. Now in stage 2, up to 50 provisionally selected candidates will be invited to what we call skills testing. Those are tests that are administered virtually. So that's the OPI in your critical language. So it works the same way as the English OPI, and it's also conducted on the phone. And then you will be also tested on your basic technology skills. And I have a link there on our website. We have a brief description and self-assessment of the technology skills. It's using PowerPoint and sending an email, those kinds of tasks. And then also testing in reading, listening, and writing. And then we extend offers of admission in November 2024. And we anticipate selecting 18 scholars. So it's a competitive program because we have about 150 to 200 applications every year. And then 50 applicants make it to this next stage. And then 18 scholars make it into the program every year. Okay, so this is where I wanted to answer the question in the Q&A and kind of describe a little bit more about what we mean by these different levels. So when we mean native language, we only test speaking, right? In the languages, in the critical language that you'll be applying for, and we require a minimum of a level 3, sorry. So that's general professional proficiency. And then in English, we require a minimum of a level 2, which is limited working proficiency. So we require that for all 4 skills of English: speaking, listening, reading, writing. I'm trying to, I'm losing my thought, but yeah, so basically when you this scale goes from 0 to 5, it feels kind of weird to think that 3, if you're a native speaker, that 3 would like that you wouldn't score a 5 basically, but it's just kind of how the scale works. It was developed by the federal government to so that different agencies could all agree on, what it means when someone says, "Oh, I'm native," or "I'm fluent," or "I'm intermediate in this language." So now all these agencies agree on these levels, and so you will not necessarily be operating at a level 5, even if you're a native speaker. I have a link on this slide too on the description of what these skills mean, what a level 3 means, what a level 2 means. So feel free to go on the website. There's really detailed video descriptions. There's also videos, so you can really get a sense of maybe where you think your level is, and you can try ahead of the test to kind of practice on the specific aspects that the website describes will qualify you for a level 2 in English or a level 3 in your native language. Here are some important dates. So the application is open now. You can find it on our website. And the deadline for the application and the supporting documents is 5 p.m. Eastern Time on June 18, 2024. Once the application is submitted and considered complete, you will be invited to schedule an oral proficiency interview in English, and those are administered through July 12. And then EHLS will notify candidates of their status in September, and some candidates will be provisionally selected to move on to skills testing, which will happen in late September to early October. And then in early November, EHLS staff will notify candidates of their final status, and the program starts on January 6th of 2025. So now that I've covered a lot about the program, I wanted to talk about tips for researching government careers. Our scholars are required to fulfill this 1-year requirement, but we're really interested in people who want to make a career out of federal work. So we're going to look at different examples of government careers that our alumni have pursued and talk about how you can do your own job search and enhance your career opportunities. In the EHLS application, it's important to demonstrate in the essays that you have researched possible career opportunities and show that there are specific jobs that you're interested in pursuing and why. So this is why I'll cover in the next few slides where you can kind of get started with that job search. So here are a few websites. We definitely recommend to research agencies and roles. So you can create a USA Jobs account and search for jobs there. You can also research the places you're applying to on Glassdoor and on LinkedIn. And then you can research agency-specific websites and a website called Intelligence Careers that is the second link on the slide there that kind of covers those different careers in more detail. We also have all this information and the different links included in the previous slide on a section of our website called Working for the Government. This is where we have information on different federal jobs, grade levels for federal jobs, and we also have a security clearance guidance. And many people ask, do I need to get a security clearance to obtain a job and working in the federal government? So you don't have to have a security clearance before you apply for a job, and not all jobs require a security clearance. All jobs do require a basic background check, but you will see in the job posting if the job requires a security clearance. There's 3 different types of levels. There's confidential, secret, and top secret. Applicants do not need a security clearance before starting the program. And we as a program do not give participants security clearances, as that process is handled by agencies in the hiring process. So on this part of our website, we have kind of a fact sheet, information sheet that we recommend for you to check out if you're interested in learning more. And we also link to a website from the Defense Counterintelligence and Security Agency which also has more information if you would like to learn more. Another part of our section, it's in this part of our website, the scholarship terms. This is a cool resource also as you're researching different positions. It's all the different places that our alumni or NCEP alumni have worked at. So very, very different agencies and kind of sub bureaus of those agencies that you might have not heard of. And I think it's a really good place to kind of start looking. So it's often easier to get hired for a job when you have a foot in the door already through a volunteer position, a contracting position, an internship, or a scholarship. So look into related jobs, look at jobs at federal contractors, jobs in local or state governments and NGOs, apply for jobs with similar titles and skills, apply to other roles in your target agency, explore part-time and temporary jobs with your target agency and contractors, and volunteer in the community. Another opportunity that I like to share is our sister program, the National Language Service Corps. They're also funded by the same funder as us, and they are a great place to network. They are kind of a professional membership program that kind of works almost like an Army Reserve, where you can be kind of called on a mission that has to do with language or cultural advising or translation. So it's a very cool professional membership, and I encourage you to check it out. Otherwise, attend career fairs and networking events, look for mentors, and connect with professionals on LinkedIn. If you do that, make your approach personal and try and type a little message in there. You can also add a profile in your language on LinkedIn. So now circling back to the end of our presentation, I wanted to just show our webpage that shows you where you can apply for the program. So this is where you can do that. And also encourage you to follow us on social media. We also have a newsletter where we announce different in-person and virtual events and different opportunities. And here's different contact information. So my information, Matilda, you can contact me with any questions related to the oral proficiency interview, scheduling, language testing questions. You can contact my colleague Maria Mariani for any questions about Georgetown facilities and scheduling. And also my colleague Meredith Shoemaker for any questions related to the application system and the portal itself. And if you have questions with uploading a transcript or any questions related to that, of course, if you contact either any one of us, we're happy to kind of circle you back to the right person and get your question answered. So that's it for me, and I thank you very much for listening to me and attending this presentation. Yeah, we covered it pretty quickly, so we have some more time, but I'm also aware it's a after 5 event, so we can also finish up early and enjoy the rest of our evenings. So yeah, feel free to type any questions. Yeah, if you want to raise your hand too, I'm happy to unmute. Yes, do you need to be currently employed to apply to the program? No, you do not need to be currently employed. So you need to if you're about to if you're accepted into the program, you need to separate from that position. You are not allowed to work for the first 6 months of the intensive portion of the program. In terms of anything you do before the program as you apply, we've had different profiles of applicants who had maybe some, some gaps in their careers and didn't have like a current job just as they were applying, and that's completely okay. There's a section in the application where you can kind of explain those gaps. So if you're not currently employed, you can still kind of explain why, and if you're caring for your family or if you're just volunteering or something like that. So um, there's a section in the application for you to do that.
Hi, thank you so much for your presentation. So how many recommendation letter do you need?
So we require one, but we recommend 2 letters.
But only one is required,
Only
right?
one is required. Yeah.
Okay. So as soon as I submit the application, then you will send me an email for the testing, the OPI.
That's right. Yeah.
So there is two, one in the native language and one in the English language.
So at this stage, it's only one in English, and then we'll reach out to you back in September if you passed your English test and you had a minimum level 2, then we'll have we'll reach out to you back in September for the second stage of testing, which is your native language OPI and then English listening, reading, writing.
The English in listening, reading, and writing is also in September?
That's also in September, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for your presentation. My question is kind of maybe tricky. I received an invitation to apply second time. Previously, my application was rejected.
Mhm.
So my question is, what makes me more successful? Because I went through stage 1 with good credentials. I have a 2 letters, and my English was a 2 plus IRL. So what can I do this time to be more successful? Thank you.
That's a great question. Yeah, I feel like a lot of our webinars try to cover and really give a lot of tips for a successful application. Tip number 1 is the more you know about the program, the more successful your application will be. So if you research on our website, watch our webinars, you'll have this knowledge that can help you write strong essays. Especially since some of our webinars are Q&As with alumni, and they also have tips about what they wrote in their essays to be successful, or what else they did to be successful. So that's my recommendation number 1. Recommendation number 2 is kind of the topic of this webinar, which is researching careers in the government, and also adding that into your essays and trying to be detailed about what you would like to do, what motivates you into in terms of a career after the program. Yeah, I think those are my 2 biggest recommendations. Yeah. Let's see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So on the website, it says that you send the person who's going to be giving us a recommendation, a referral form to fill out.
Yeah.
In addition to that, is a separate recommendation letter required, or how do they?
No, it's basically, those are kind of the 2 options. They can either fill out that recommendation form, which counts as that recommendation letter, basically, or they could choose not to fill out that form and those questions specifically and just write their own letter and just upload that. Those are the 2 kind of options. But if they fill out the form from our portal, that counts as your recommendation letter.
And is there a preference as to which they do?
No, I don't think there is. I mean, I think following those guiding questions, whether it's, in that format or in their own document, I think is recommended, because I think that's what our reviewers are going to be looking for. But other than that, I don't think there's a recommendation. I'm actually thinking of a 3rd tip for Natalia's question on a successful application. So on our website, we have the selection criteria. So we have actually what our reviewers are going to need, are going to be using and the rubric that they're going to be evaluating your application against. And so reviewing those yourself as you're, applying and writing your essays is definitely my tip number 3. But it's also good maybe for your the people writing a recommendation letter to you to see what those criteria might be. So you could send that along and tell them about the program to make sure that you really have a strong recommendation. Great. Thank you again. And
Thank you.
I hope you have a great evening. Thank you so much, Jeannie. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.